As you know, Barack Obama is often heralded as being a constitutional law professor. Apparently, he did study constitutional law and did have some specialization and practice in the constitutional law area. So I'm stunned and puzzled by his lack of logic in analyzing various constitutional law situations. Just this week, we had a ruling from the Supreme Court that struck down the D.C. handgun ban as unconstitutional. It basically asserted that the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution gives a person an individual right to bear arms and to defend themselves and their property. Now, 6 months ago, Barack Obama thought that D.C. handgun ban was constitutional. This week was unconstitutional, and this week when the Supreme Court ruling came out, he very politely said that he thinks that the District of Columbia overshot the runway, that really the Second Amendment does give people an individual right to bear arms and defend themselves, but that he, Barack Obama, also believes that individual localities, cities, towns, villages, states, have the right to make adjustments and tweaks and adaptations of the Second Amendment to deal with their own situations and deal with guns. Now, what I want to focus on is this adaptation part and some of the irony of this position with some of his other positions. And I'll put it to you very briefly and succinctly. Where we do have a written constitutional law that protects the right to bear arms, it's there, you can look up the Second Amendment. Barack Obama talks about tweaking and tuning and adapting the meaning of the Second Amendment to suit a locality. Now that's kind of interesting. You might say, well, gee, we shouldn't be, tuning and tweaking things written down in the Constitution. But now let's look at Barack Obama's position on abortion. If you ask him about his position on abortion and you look at his legislative record, he absolutely firmly believes that there is an absolute right to abortion on demand under any circumstances that cannot be tuned or tweaked or adjusted to accommodate a locality's situation. And oh, guess what? There's no right to abortion written down in the Constitution. So basically, where you have no right elucidated in the document itself, Barack Obama finds an absolute right that can't be touched by a locality. However, when you have an amendment to the Constitution written in plain English, he believes that you can monkey with it at the state, local, and city level. So I just leave that basically to the audience to try to figure out. In essence, it is the way liberals twist and turn the law and the Constitution into a pretzel to suit themselves. And with that, this is Mark Hamilton signing off for The Right Report. Have a nice day.